Vivo X80 Pro review. The best camera gets slightly better. The rest of the design remains the same as last year's X70 series, such as the glossy top trim strip and the smooth frosted glass on the back. It also supports 2 SIM cards and NFC. Fingerprint recognition becomes the same large ultrasonic fingerprint as the X Note, but the silent switch on the X Note is not present on the X80 Pro. If you are an X70 Pro Plus user, you will feel no big change when you switch to X80 Pro. The biggest change you can feel is that the lens design has become uglier. As soon as I opened the X80 Pro's screen, I thought it looked familiar. After comparing the screen specs of the X70 Pro Plus, I was sure that this screen is the same screen as the X70 Pro Plus. We're familiar with this screen, and I'm sure you don't want to hear us repeat its performance. Except for the side view color shift, it's all top of the line at the moment. I have to say, Vivo knows its users very well. They know that we prefer the Dimensity 9000 to the Snapdragon 8 General one. That's why it is offering 2 versions with identical specs but different processors. You can buy whichever processor you like. The X80 Pro we have is the Snapdragon 8 General 1 version. Because the Dimensity 9000 version is not yet available for sale, we are already familiar with the benchmark performance of Snapdragon 8 General 1, so you can take a look at the table to get an idea. As for the gaming performance, we simply ran PUBG and Genshin. Maybe the Snapdragon 8 General 1 performance is too bad. Or maybe Vivo is just trying to protect your hands from getting burned. As usual, the performance is just mediocre. If you want a phone with good gaming performance, the X80 Pro is definitely not the best choice. The 4 lenses on the X80 Pro are a 50 megapixels main camera, a 48 megapixels ultra-wide-angle camera, a 12 megapixels portrait camera, and an 8 megapixels periscope telephoto camera. The main camera adds a glass lens. The micro gimbal of the ultra-wide-angle camera has also been replaced with the portrait camera. This time the V1 chip of X80 Pro was updated to V1 Plus chip. Because the other lenses have not changed much, so we mainly talk about this micro gimbal portrait lens. Honestly, the closest focusing distance of this lens is a bit too far, and it often fails to focus for daily shooting. Sometimes there is an inexplicable shaking problem, and the probability of this bug is quite high. The micro gimbal is actually better for video recording, but you can't record 4K and 60 FPS video with this lens. So I prefer the X70 Pro Plus design that puts the micro gimbal on the ultra-wide-angle camera. The other lenses are not significantly different compared to the X70 Pro Plus or X Note. If you want to know more details about this camera system, you can check out our X70 Pro Plus and X Note reviews. For some reason, we can't find the official Note app in our X80 Pro, nor can I search for it in the Vivo App Store, so I have to use a third-party app if I want to take notes. How to use the IR remote control of Origin OS is also hard to find. If you want to use IR remote but don't know how to use it, I'll teach you here. Go to Settings and find Jovi. Then click Jovi in Life and download the app. Then you can add the devices you want to remote control. The X80 Pro's battery capacity has been increased by 200 mAh over the previous generation, and the wired charging power has been increased to 80 W. However, the compatibility of charging protocols is still not good. There are more versions for sale this time, so I've listed a table for your reference. In fact, the Vivo X series has never been cheap, so buying the X80 Pro depends on whether you are interested in its powerful camera system or not. I know a lot of people are interested in the X80 Standard Edition. We will also bring its review as soon as possible.